I figured out what was wrong the other day as far as my internet connection. I had my baby monitor on, and it sucks up all the bandwidth, and so that's why everything was running super slow. But it's off today, so all is good. All right, guys, let's look at my agenda here. We have a couple of business items that we're going to talk about first. How many people are going on the zoo field trip tomorrow? Anybody? No? Kaylee, maybe? Well, you should go because I'll be there. I'll be there with my twins, and it'll be very exciting, I'm sure. I'm bringing my babysitter as well because um, undoubtedly somebody will poop or something, and I'll need extra hands. But um, yeah, Simon lives too far away. But hopefully you can look at that save the date and you can pick something that is coming up in the future and maybe make special arrangements for that day. But nevertheless, the zoo will be fun tomorrow.
I'm going.
Okay. If you don't have school, that's funny, Kaylee. Well, tomorrow, tomorrow that is school. That is a perfect segue though into my next topic. Some of the assignments that you need to get done before fall break. So, um, I think that I will just show you like what I'm talking about and where to find everything because there's some people with some questions, and even if you don't have questions, maybe you overlook something. So I'll just kind of give you an overview of where you should be before you start your fall break. Okay, so I'm going to start on our sixth grade homepage. Make sure that you always read these announcements in the center. I make them quite colorful for you. So that you could always be up to date. But let's start with, let's see, these two assignments down here. Your e-portfolio. Right now, before you start fall break, you should be done with stage one, which was this book, stage two, and stage three. Okay, so
Mhm.
those three things need to be done before fall break for your e-portfolio. And remember, I'm on the sixth grade homepage. That's where I'm finding all this stuff. Then, this is new. You might not have even seen this. It's possible that you even overlooked it in the announcements that are up here in the center. I have no idea why this came out like turquoise all over, but nevertheless, let me tell you a little bit more about digital literacy and citizenship. You guys are actually graded on digital literacy and citizenship. And basically, what that means is how do you be a good citizen online? Things like how can you be safe? How can you find good sites to search when you are, doing research projects? Um, what are, good sites for you to visit? All of those type of topics are covered in these units. So let me show you. There's two different places to get from it. You can go and click on everything right here from your announcements, and I'll just leave this up forever and ever. Or I also put it down here in a topic block, digital literacy and citizenship. You have, and it's really pretty simple, guys. You only have one lesson to complete every 2 months. It's not a lot. So you have a lesson for October and November. And then you have a new lesson in December and January. So let's just take a look at it. So I could click on this book. Here's what needs to happen. You have to find 15 minutes to sit down with your mom and dad, or one or the other, and they have to create an account in order to use this whole site. So they have to create a educator slash parent login. It takes, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes. Once you have created that login, you'll be able to get started. And you can notice that I created a beautiful site. Show you what it looks like. And when you get to it, you'll see all of the different grade levels. And obviously, you guys are grade six. So you'll click on grade six. And then you're going to click on October and November. That's where you're going to want to start. And here's where you have the directions on what you're supposed to do. So for October and November, your unit of study is security. That's your topic. Here are the directions. You need to go to the website. Your parents will already have their login. So once you go to the website, they will be able to log in. You're going to click on grades 6 through 8. You'll click on security because that's your topic. And then this is the name of the lesson. The first lesson that you'll do is called strong passwords. So that's the lesson. And then all you have to do to get credit after you do it's like a video, after you basically watch the video, you'll come down here, you'll type in your name, 2 to 3 things that you learned from the lesson, and 1 to 3 ways on how you will apply it to your life. Okay? So that's pretty simple stuff. And this is how you're going to get graded is by filling out this form after you watch the lesson. So are there any questions on this digital literacy and citizenship stuff? No? It's pretty simple. And so you can see that's October and November, and then you have a new lesson for December and January. You can see that your topic changes and the name of the lesson changes. And so you just go through it differently. And then you have one for February and March and April and May. So guys, that's only 4 lessons all year. It's not hard stuff, but if you don't do it, then you don't get a grade. So anyway, just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Okay, so we talked about the e-portfolio. I skipped ahead to digital literacy. Now I want to look at Compass Learning Odyssey because this is something that finally is working for most of us. So I'm actually going to, Tyler, can you privately type your password to me in the chat? I'm going to sign in as you. Because I want you to see what it looks like from a kid. It's going to be totally different. Yeah, that's your username, Tyler. What's your password? The one that starts with DCSD and then the numbers. So go ahead and type that just to me. Okay, there we go. Okay. 5, 7, 6. I'm going to make sure you guys know everything that you're supposed to do. Okay, so when you log in, this looks different than it used to. You have to go right here to this little blue thing that says EDCSD. Oh no, I wonder. Oh, okay, so Tyler's isn't working. That is a huge bummer. Okay, well, Simon, why don't you type your password in for me and we'll use your account. Okay, and your password, go ahead and type your password in and I'll sign in as you. Okay, so I'm waiting for the password. I have the DCSD and then the numbers. Oh, really? Oh, that's kind of strange that you have that for both. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Huh. Okay, well that's not working for me. Are you sure? What's your DCSD password?
Oh, okay, is that working?
I'm thinking that that's going to work. You've already been in there doing stuff though, so whatever you've been doing has been working. So no, I don't know what's going on. No. Maybe I should have logged in as one of you beforehand, huh? Oh well. I just wanted to make sure that Tyler's Yeah, go ahead, Will. Will, you're actually in a different grade level. So I'm not sure, or is that Jack and you're just signed in on your brother's computer? You can go ahead and give me yours
Yes.
and oh, okay, cool. Yeah, go ahead and give me yours and I'm going to show some other stuff while we have that kind of okay, here's Dakota's. One, and then DCSD 24769. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, we got one kiddos to work. This is good. All right. So before fall break, when you log in, some of you have different things assigned to you just because you needed some extra practice, or some people needed a little bit of challenge work. So sometimes it might look different for everybody, but for the most part, all of you should have had some social studies assignments. So when you clicked on social studies, ah, here it is. Down here, this was what it was assigned to, the US political system. And so you can see that Dakota has completed it. And it was only like, how many lessons was it, Dakota? It was only like 4 lessons, right?
Um,
It was,
there was there was like two portfolios of it. One of them had like a little bit, and the second one had like 15 of them.
okay. Okay. So it was political science and the US political system. So it was these two down here. And it looks different because he's already done them. So that's good, actually, Dakota. Fantastic. You also had a little bit of science review, and you can see the scientific process, and it shows a check mark because he's already done it as well. So those were the two things that all sixth graders had to do. Raise your hand or type into the chat if you did not, for whatever reason, have a social studies and science assignment. Okay, so Simon, I'm going to check on your science and make sure that it got assigned to you correctly. But don't worry, this was a pretty quick little assignment. And Tyler, yes, I know your situation. Yours is definitely going to have to be in the future. um, so that's kind of where you should be for Compass Learning Odyssey. And Tyler, if we have to kind of, take some of your stuff out because you're going to be starting later, that's fine. We'll do that. And Ashley, okay, we will. I'm gonna have Ashley and Tyler stay after VC, and we're gonna figure out why you guys cannot log on. We're gonna get to the bottom of it. Okay. So going back to the other things that we need to cover and make sure that we're ready to do before fall break is you had a very short little introduction to your Canada unit. That's going to start after fall break, but I want to show you where to find it and what you need to do before then. Okay, so back on your sixth grade, actually, this is going to be your sixth grade social studies page. Okay, you're going to scroll down, and this looks slightly different because it's my view and not yours, but under topic block 4, you see this is the Compass Learning Odyssey assignment, and then this is the Canada project. Okay, so we're going to click on the Canada project. Okay, please view this presentation to learn about your Canada project. So I'm going to go through it with you. And then you need to go through it several times. There's a couple things for you to do. And after fall break, you're going to begin the role of the biographer. That'll make more sense in just a minute. So let me click on presentation. Am I going too fast for anyone? Okay, good. I know. I'm sorry, Simon. You are a rock star. A lot of people didn't see this, though, so we're just going to show them where to find it. But guess what, Simon? If you've already done it, then you might get your first choice of the Canadian province. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so you're going to click on this, and then you're going to start presentation. See right here where it says start presentation, and we'll go through it. Okay, your WebQuest project. In 6th grade, you are supposed to study Canada and Latin America. So I'm sure a lot of you have wondered why your social studies class looks different than some of the rest of your classes. Well, it's because I had to change the curriculum and I had to come up with my own projects so that you were actually able to meet the standards. Your social studies class in Adventa definitely did not meet the standards. So here we go. Canada project. This is really fun. Step 1. First, you have to visit this link and decide on the top 3 Canadian provinces you would be interested in studying. So you'll click here, and this will take you to a Wikipedia page describing the different provinces of Canada. So you choose 3 of them. Okay, sorry. And then you need to fill out this form. You click on form to tell me your choices. And it looks like Simon's already got one. He's already got his first choice because he's already done this, I'm sure. So your first choice, second choice, third choice of which province you want to study. Okay. Making sense so far? Thumbs up. Okay, that's really all you really need to do before fall break. But let's just look at the actual project because that's going to start after fall break. So that's step 1. Step 2. After your province has been assigned, so after I get everybody's form and I see what everybody wants to do, I'm going to tell you which one you got assigned to. You're going to visit the resource links on the Social Studies homepage. I'll show you where to find those. You're going to use those links and any other library books to start gathering information. You're free to use any resources you can find. You can take notes on a Word document. You can use, you can use note cards or your social studies notebook. I don't care how you take notes. It's really kind of up to you. Okay, so Dakota, we'll talk about that a little bit later. I think as we go through this, it might become more clear. You have to do 3 different jobs. You're going to start off as a biographer. Then you're going to turn into, a historian. Then you get to end with the travel guide job. And in a regular classroom, everybody, like we had groups of 3 and one person was the biographer, one person was the historian, and one person was the travel guide. But you guys are really cool. You get to do all of the jobs and you have a little bit more time than kids in a regular classroom. So you get to learn a lot more. But you're going to spend about 1 week on each of these jobs. So let me tell you what the jobs entail. Okay, so that's just more about taking notes. And then you're going to be making a presentation. But here are the actual jobs. The biographer, you're going to look for information on your province, things like the location, the terrain, the climate, the flag, the major cities, the languages spoken, and yes, there are other languages spoken in Canada than just English. When we move into the historian job, this would be like the following week. You start to research the history, famous people from your province, historical events. And then the following week, you would become the travel guide. And this is where you get to do the fun stuff. Things like the arts, your sports and recreation that happen in your province. And then, of course, you need to visit the rubric. You just click right here to see how you'll be graded. So at the end of this project, you're going to have a Google presentation of your own to share. So Are there any, and yes, Ashley, I'm gonna email you. Actually, this is already in your Google Docs. So you don't really need me to email you the jobs because you already have them. You have this entire presentation. Okay. So that's just a little bit on Canada. All you really need to do before fall break was step one. Okay. All right. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to move on. Okay. I just wanted to show you where that was because some people were like, I don't know where it is. Okay. Well, there it is. It's also in your Google Docs. I sent it to you. So if you click on, yours might say Docs, mine says Drive. If you click here, it'll show up. And Jeremy, we don't start it next week because that's fall break, but we do step one right now. And then the following week after fall break is when we actually get started. Okay? All right, so that was a little bit on where to find your Canada stuff, the form to fill out, and of course, where to actually go to choose your province. Okay. All right, moving right along. Fall break, of course, is next week. Before you start fall break, be done with your work. Because guess what fall break is for me? It's a time where teachers get to not have a break and catch up on grading. Yay! So if you don't have all of your work done, then it's going to turn into a 0. Your book club job. This is also listed on the 6th grade homepage. I'd probably do it now before fall break so that you can actually kind of relax a little for a week or two. It's not much reading. You just have a new job, and I'll show you. Book clubs. Oh, I might not have posted it in 6th grade. Okay, see, this is good. I'm going to, okay, make myself a note. I will post what chapters to be done with for your book clubs. All right, here we go. We are ready to actually start our math portion. Looks like somebody's already put in some math, real life math. Oh, actually, I think that was from last week. I have a cool little, you're going to think I'm totally nerdy, but cool little fact for you. Today is 10, 11, 12, and at noon, guess what the time will be? This will be kind of crazy. It'll be, at one point today, we can have like 12:34 p.m. and 56 seconds. I could keep going, but all right. So that's a fun little, it's not really math, but it's fun with numbers. Any other experiences with math in real life from this last week? Go ahead, Tyler.
The last time that I moved, we set stuff down on my couch and it broke it, and we had to get a whole bunch of boards from the store and measure them, and then we had to cut them, and then we had to nail them together and put in the back of the couch again, and then we had to use the staple gun.
Nice. So basically, you had to do some measurements with wood and fix your couch, and that's definitely an example. Good. All right, guys, you don't have too many new topics today. The only really new topic you have is dividing decimals, which sounds a lot harder than it is. So adding and subtracting decimals, we've spent like 3 weeks kind of touching base on that. I think we're going to skip it, move to just a few practice problems of multiplying decimals, and then we'll go into dividing decimals. If we have time, we might play round 2 of our game. So, okay, get your pencil and paper or whatever ready. And here we go. All right, multiplying decimals. Let's start pretty easy. Let's do 2.9 times 3.1. Okay. And when you get an answer, type it into the chat. Very good, very good. Oh, this is too easy. Very good. Everybody who's typed it into the chat has had it correctly. Fantastic. Those of you who came last Friday when we reviewed this a little bit more, there are two ways that you know that you're doing this correctly and that you get the right answer. First way is let's just do an estimate. 2.9 is pretty darn close to 3. 3.1 is pretty close to just 3. So you should know in your head that your answer should be really close to 9. So just keep that in mind. Then, if you didn't know where to put your decimal point, if you count how many digits come after the decimal in your problem, that's how many digits will come after the decimal in your answer. So if you did the multiplication, you had 899. So right away, using your estimate as well as counting the digits after the decimal, you know where to place that decimal point. You guys rock. All right, let's do something harder. Woohoo! Let's do, working with nines. 57.9 times 6.2. Go for it. Okay, I'm getting a couple answers. But take your time, don't rush. Good, Dakota. Fantastic. Woo, you guys are like little experts here at multiplying decimals. I'm sure. Oh, wow, yes, and Ashley, I'm going to take that your method here in just a second. If you did your estimate before you started multiplying, in your head you probably said 60 times 6, and you knew that your answer had to be somewhere close to 360. And then counting the decimals in the problem, you knew that there would be two decimals after the, two digits after the decimal in your answer. So here were the numbers that you came up with. And like I said, two ways to know where to put your decimal, your estimate, as well as counting the digits. And there you go. All right, Ashley, I want you to tell me your method.
Okay, so my method is you do the same where you estimate the numbers to like an easier number to multiply.
Right.
You get 360. And then I found an easy way where you take out the decimals and then you multiply the two numbers like how you would with if they were whole numbers.
Uh-huh.
And then once you find your answer, put the decimal back in two numbers because there's two numbers after the decimal.
That's exactly right. She said, you just do the multiplication problem, and then at the very end, that's when you worry about placing your decimal point. Okay, after you do the entire multiplication problem. Okay, multiplication is super easy for you guys. Let's move on to division of decimals. All right, let's say I am going to order a pizza. I'm going to order a bunch of pizzas, and a couple teachers and I are going to split the cost. Well, there's 8 teachers. The total for the pizza came to $54.80. Okay, so I need to know how much each one of those teachers is going to pay. In a problem like this, it's really simple to know where to put your decimal point. Just line it up nicely and keep it right there. Okay, go ahead and work that out. Very good, Simon. Good. Good. $6.85. That's exactly right. And just a little bit of review on some vocab that you need to realize. The answer in a division problem is always called the quotient. So anytime they are asking for the quotient, that means that is the answer to a division problem. The divisor is the number that comes outside the house, and the dividend is always what's underneath the house. Okay? All right, so pretty simple stuff when you're working with, just basic things like that. If I took that same problem and I did an estimate, that's another way, if you somehow got tripped up, that's another way to know where to place that decimal point. Let's try another problem, a new one. A whole number divisor, and then let's say 29.36. So again, just make sure it's neat and just line up your decimal point and put it right up top. Okay, go for it. Good. You're quick. Very good. Nice. And all of you are coming up with the right answer. Yep, Dakota, make sure you put your decimal point though. 7.34. Just by doing a little estimate, if I did 28 divided by 4, I know that my answer is 7. Oh my gosh, sorry, this pen is terrible. 28 divided by 4 is 7. So this is a reasonable answer. You know that you're correct. That's pretty simple stuff, but it's going to get a little bit more complicated for you guys in 6th grade. So we're going to start using a little bit of algebra. So solve for x. So you're going to see problems that look like this. 22.47 divided by 7 equals x. You're going to need to rewrite it so that it actually makes sense, because I don't think that's probably mental math for any of you. Put the 22.47 under the house with the 7 outside and solve for x. Good work. Trying to trick you and it's not working. Okay, waiting for a couple more people. Good, good. Yes, all of you got it right away. 3 and 2100ths, or 3.21. Perfect. So if it says solve for x, basically it's find the quotient. It's the same exact thing. All right, we're going to get more complex because this is too easy. There's going to be some situations where you're looking at this number and you're like, okay, what do I do? 4 does not go into 0. 4 does not go into another 0. What do I need to add up here before I can even start this problem? Yes, that's right, Tyler. Let's see what everybody comes up with if I just leave you and let you go. You're pretty close, Tyler. Good, Simon. Okay, let's do this one together. I'm seeing a couple remainders. I would actually prefer if you took it all the way out. So let's just talk through it. 4 cannot go into 0, so I'm going to put a 0. 4 again cannot go into 0. But 4 cannot go into 1, so I'm still going to have to add a 0, right? And then Simon, why don't you, your microphone's working today, I hope. Why don't you tell us what we did next? I think your microphone's on, Simon, so you could go ahead and talk through this problem if you want. Oh, it's not working. Okay, well, Tyler, you got most of it correct. You were only one number off. Tyler, what do I need to do? What do I need to do next?
You need to put, instead of using just the 4, you use the whole 14 and you get 3 and you get 12 because 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract it and then you get 2, which would usually be a remainder, but you can put it onto a decimal.
Mm-hmm. Or I could
And
just
then
add
you
a 0,
get,
bring down another 0, right? And then I have 4 into 20. And that's how you got that 5. Just like that. And then you're done. Okay? All right, let's try a couple more problems like this, because they're not hard, but they're slightly more complicated. All right. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Give me just a second to get to the skill that we're looking for. Okay. Well, this one's slightly different. Before we do this one, let me show you something. Okay, let's look at division of decimals by decimals. So if I have a divisor of like 1.4, for instance, and a dividend of 28.14, I can't do this problem until I get rid of the decimal in the divisor. I have to get rid of this first before I can do the problem. So I'm going to move it over one place, but then I have to move this decimal over one place too. So now the problem becomes 14 divided by 281.4. Okay, now you can actually do the problem. So go for it. Good, Tyler. Oh, Tyler, you were 1 decimal place off, but that's exactly right, guys. 20.1. Perfect. Okay. And as sixth graders, hopefully I don't have to go through the entire process of doing the entire division problem with you. What you need to understand is that you cannot have a decimal in your divisor. You're going to have to move it and make it a whole number before you can do the problem. So let's look at one more. Oops. What if I had 0.5 as a divisor, and then underneath the house I had 3.125? What am I going to have to do? Who wants to tell me? What's my first step? Ashley, what's my first step?
Move the decimal from by the 5 over 1.
Good. So make that 5, and then you have to move this one as well. So now your new problem becomes 31.25 divided by 5. Okay, go for it. Excellent. You guys got it. Division of decimals is going to be a piece of cake for all of you. Even trying to trick you by putting decimals in the divisor or sometimes putting a bunch of zeros, you guys have got it. All right. So that's kind of what I was telling you with you don't have too many new assignments coming up. We could actually look at your sixth grade math class and kind of see where you should be. So let's take a look. Okay, so we're getting to the math class. And down here, we've already done adding and subtracting. We did multiplying decimals. And now you can start, if you are ready, you can get a little head start on it and start dividing decimals. And yes, there is a Brain Pop movie, and yes, we are working on getting the account renewed. But don't worry, Brain Pop videos are like 2 minutes long, so it's not a huge deal. Okay, so that's where you should be in math class. You should at least be done with multiplying decimals and everything else before fall break. Any questions there? Go ahead, Dakota.
Last night, me and my mom got into Brain Pop just fine.
Oh, really? So maybe it's on. Maybe they renewed it. That's fantastic news. Yay! Okay, well then, great. Your little Brain Pop video should be up and running for you. If you're ready to start with the dividing decimals, be my guest. And then, of course, after fall break, we'll be starting fractions. I love fractions. Okay. All right, guys, we have a couple more minutes, so we can maybe play a few rounds of our game. It'll go quicker if I just choose the problems, though, for you. Let's see. Ashley, you're going to be team 1. I'm just going by the list of people in the attendee list. Ashley is team 1. Dakota is team 2. Jeremy is team 3. Kaylee S is team 4. Simon is team 5. TJ, you're team 6. Tyler, you're team 7. And Jack, you are team 8. So 8 teams. Woohoo! So remember, type your answers into the chat. Because it just is a lot easier that way. All right, here we go. Let's do estimating products with decimals for 300. Round to the largest place value and then multiply. Woo, Simon! You're fast.
Come on. Be fast.
378.
Any decimal?
Okay, this one was mental math because we are actually estimating. So Simon, why don't you tell us what you rounded 633 to? 600, good. And then he rounded 5 and 6/10 to 6. So 600 times 6, mental math, is 3,600. Simon, you were team 5, correct? Okay, cool. Here we go. Going fast. Let's do another estimation problem again. Let's do the 400. Round to the largest place value and then multiply. Tyler!
I got 7,200 and I rounded 700. I rounded 789 to 808.7 to 9 and
Yep.
got 7,200.
That's right. This is closer to 800 than it is to 700. So 800 times 9. That is correct. Tyler, what team are you?
7.
7. Okay. All right. TJ, what team are you? Forgot what team TJ is. He's team 6, but he was the first one into the chat, so I'm going to give him some points too. Okay, let's get crazy. Let's do a challenge problem for 300. How do I write the equation 8 times a number? Ashley!
8 times. I think I forgot.
Well, 8, you got it though. 8 times any number, right? So I could write 8x or 8 times n or 8 times b, whatever letter I wanted to choose. Okay, so we'll go on. We'll try another challenge problem. It'll be similar. Oh, whoops. Okay, sorry. Let's do 100. How do I write 15 more than any number? Tyler.
N plus 15.
Very good. Any number plus 15. Tyler, what team are you?
7.
7. And Simon, you're team 6? He's team 5. He was the first one into the chat. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's do decimal patterns. Let's just see if you guys remember this. What is the product of 32.5 times 10? Woo, you're fast. Oh, let's take somebody new. Remember, all you need to do is move your decimal place one time. Okay, Tyler, go ahead.
325.
Good. I'm going to give everybody those points because everybody typed it into the chat and it was kind of like a blur. Like you all kind of did it at the same time. Cool. All right, let's do another decimal pattern. So guys, this is really easy stuff. You're just moving your decimal place however many zeros there are. Woo! Jack. Oh, I'm sorry, you kind of cut out there. But yes, you just move that decimal place one time, so the number becomes 749.8. And you move it one time because there's 1 0 that you're working with here. Jack, what team are you?
Team 8.
Team 8, okay. However, I think everybody, again, was into the chat really quickly. But Jack, since you were verbal, I'll give you an extra 100. It doesn't matter. It's just a silly game. Okay, here we go. Let's do a 500. Woo! Oh, wow. What is the product of 2.34.89934 times 10,000? In other words, where do I need to put my decimal point? I'm going to move my decimal 4 times because there's 4 zeros. Kaylee S.
Put it between the 3 and 4, the decimal.
That's exactly right. Good job, TJ and Simon. You were really fast there into the chat. Kaylee, what team are you?
Team 4.
Team 4. Cool. All right, guys, one last problem. I knew we wouldn't have time to do as many today, but let's do the crazy challenge for 500. Any number divided by 25. How do I write that? Ashley.
Right, I was gonna type it in. Any number, let's say b.
Okay.
B divided by 25.
That's right. And I chose n, but you could choose n or x or whatever you want. So any number divided by 25. Perfect. You guys did really good today. This was fun. I'm going to turn on my webcam because my cat wants to say hello to all of you. He gets jealous. Am I on? I am. Yay. All right, say hi, kitty. This is about you, not me right now. All right. Okay, guys. We are done for today, but let's have Tyler and Ashley stay on so that we can look at your Compass Learning Odyssey. But everybody else, have a fantastic fall break, and I will see you again on October 25th. We do not have any VCs on the 22nd.